We usually start with me asking, does anybody have anything to say? And then from that, we have a conversation, or sometimes not. And today, um, I went to sleep troubled. Troubled may not be the right word. Let's call it deeply thoughtful. And I woke up with um, I guess you'd call it a thought. And I want to share the trouble with you. And I also want to share the thought with you. And I'm going to try to make this not go too long because I probably could talk for a few days on this. We don't have a few, oh, actually, we could just take a few days. This is why I turned the recorder on early, to capture some of these thoughts. And I'm not sure how much, back in the days when recordings were done on magnetic tape, you just remember all that mattered was how much tape you had. And that, since we don't even have magnetic tape, I guess I could just go a while here. Um, so what I want to talk about, um, is something that someone sent me yesterday, and I just want to read it, and I will then comment on it. So this is what I received. Um, there are countless examples of decentralized, complex, resilient societies throughout human history, continuing into the present. These include the hundreds of interlaced peoples of Zomia, the Southeast Asian highlands, who are surrounded but still unconquered by some of the strongest and longest lasting states in history. The Amazi of northern Africa, the Mayan peoples of the Yucatan Peninsula and the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, the Mapuche of the Andes and the Pacific coast, the 400 indigenous tribes of the Amazon. These are societies who have defeated empires and colonizers, who have survived and adapted to earlier collapses, or who overthrew their own ruling classes. They are people who find abundance and safety in ecosystems where states only see desert, who have cultivated the richest rainforests on the planet, and who, even in the 20th and 21st centuries, have launched major rebellions against oppression. Their traditional social structures provide them with decentralized networks and federations that are a major source of their resilience. And um, I am, in some ways, a product of those peoples. Uh, Very early on in my life, I focused on and I studied those people as examples of where I thought I was going. Um, and this is before college. And then in college, I made a more formal uh, study of the Colombo and and since this is half a century ago, I'm forgetting the name. Um, the people of Palmares, the Afro South American state that existed inside of Brazil and had such formal relationships with the rest of the world that there were ambassadors from Europe being exchanged with the people of the Quilombo Palmares. And these folks gave me strength until they didn't, because each one of them passed away. And each one of them passed away for a particular reason. And that reason, I think, is really important to us. I think that reason is important to me. And the reason is that all of them stopped short of where we're going. All of them died from what I'm calling a poison pill. And the poison pill is invisible, it's insidious, we don't we don't pay attention to it at all for most of us. We don't pay enough attention to it for many of us. And this is the piece that I have been stressing for the last 30 or 40 years. And it's the piece that is so simple, it's so profound that it seems naive. It seems too easy, or it seems so lightweight you can take it as an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, sure. I believe in that. Yeah. And then you go on and do something different. And that thing is the central subject matter of what we do. And it's usually pasted right here, but I wore a different jacket today. So you'll have to imagine my button right here that says creating a world that works for all. Now, as soon as you say that, you instantly separate yourself from every other political, economic, social, cultural movement that's been on our planet. I can't say this loud enough or deeply enough that we have had, as long as there have been human beings on our planet, we have had human beings in resistance to the ideas of the other human beings. We have been in conflict with ourselves, and that conflict has consumed 2 world wars. They're bordering on a third one right now. It has consumed innumerable regional conflicts, cultural conflicts. We we have this notion that there's something wrong with us, something wrong with humanity, that our basic human nature is defective. And I don't believe that. I just believe that we've got an idea that lies so close to our identity, our identity as living beings on this planet, that it's really hard to get ourselves pulled away from it enough. And this idea is not just that, we've had these ideas before that human beings are different and better because we have language, because we have opposable thumbs, because we know how to build buildings. And as we go through, and as we are now well into the 21st century, all of those notions fall by the wayside. And what we're left with is we're not all that special at all. We love our children as much as elephants love theirs. We build structures that are actually inferior to the ones built by termites. We don't have a handle on a niche that that's particularly meaningful. We've killed each other and we've killed ourselves by the scores of millions. We've dropped 2 atomic bombs on ourselves and are poised right this second to drop more on each other. And there's one factor that separates us from all of that history. And that factor is, are we creating a world that works for all living beings? I don't mean for our comfort group. That may be our cultural group. That may be our linguistic group. It may be, and some of the most vicious wars have been fought around our ideological group, our religious group. But do we have the capacity? Do we have the possibility to elevate ourselves above that? Do we have the capacity? Do we have the possibility of establishing something on the planet that has never been done before? And that is to establish a human species where one does not exist right now. Every time you adopt or you reflect or you embody an idea that is anything less than creating a world that works for all living beings, you fall right back into our past behavior. You swallow whole the poison pill, and then somewhere a day, a week, a month, 10 years, in the case of the Soviet Union, 70 years, it fails. And it fails because from the very beginning, the failure is embedded in the system. We are different from you. We are better than you. We will bury you. We don't have any respect for you. You are other. And as long as I have in my being the notion that you are other, I hold the notion that we will die and that we'll all die. We we've entered a new time, and many of us see this new time. Many of us can feel that this time is different in some way, and it is. But we take into the new time all of our old baggage. We take into the new time all of our notions of separation, all of our notions that in some way, And some of those ways get really, really subtle, and they're really subtle in me right now. I've got that pill inside of me right now, and I have to work every single day to not wrap it up in different language, wrap it up with a different flavor, and say, "Oh, that's not their pill." My pill is chocolate. They've got vanilla, and we know that vanilla is evil. Okay, and um, so can I recognize that all of us have both the capacity and also are holding the destruction of humanity on the planet? I want to say this and then I'll be done for the day, or maybe. um, I don't think that Earth, that Gaia, that our mother has any particular distinction for us. I don't think that we are the chosen people. I don't think that we are that it's inevitable that human beings exist anywhere in this universe. I believe that we can destroy ourselves. I think that we can ignore our potential enough. We can separate from each other enough that we disappear from this planet and Mother Earth throws up another um, another experiment that can get us to what our role is on this planet, which I'll talk about in another video. Our role as self-reflective consciousness on the planet. I just learned this the other day, that Tasmanian devils, the real ones that live in Tasmania, not the cartoon ones that we all remember from Warner Brothers cartoons. But the Tasmanian devil, when they are birthing their offspring, the mother has 30 babies at a time, 30. She has 4 teats. So that means that 26 of them die. And that for them, that seemed like a good idea. Okay. And it just shows that when you think about how we living beings live on this planet, we throw off lots and lots and lots of experiments. And some stick and some don't. Right now, almost every human ideology, every human idea that's based on I am separate is about to unstick. We feel it. We can't identify it. I mean, we can't identify, like what is it? Oh, it's those Russians over there. Oh, no, it's those Palestinians over there. Oh, no, it's really all of those South Africans down there. We keep pointing our finger outside of ourselves and not looking at the poison pill. The reason that we're all about to die is that we believe that the world can work for me at the expense of somebody else. The reason that we can live is that we have become smart enough and global enough that we can see that all of us can live together. That we can live, that we have a planet that is abundant and that we all can work to create a world that works for me and my group and also works for all other beings. That may mean that some beings need to change their trajectories. It may mean that some beings need to learn how to cooperate more. We have lots of um, examples of human beings cooperating with each other, with other beings, with Gaia herself, and we, all the rest of us, need to be um, letting go of silly ideas in favor of this global concept of how we can live. Silly ideas like going to Mars while there are people starving on Earth. Silly ideas that my group sitting in my little corner of the lifeboat can drill holes in the lifeboat, can set the bottom of the lifeboat on fire, and nothing will happen to us. This is the most profound idea that we can come up with right now. The practice of this idea is the most difficult thing that we have ever faced. It is not a naive idea. It is not a surface idea. It is not a I'll do this when I get around to it idea. That the notion that we can create a world that works for all is not something I'll get around to when I get a chance. Isn't oh yeah, I want to do that, but I got a football game today. It has to be the thing that we treat with the importance that it has, because it's the most important idea that we've got. Now, the reason I wear the button is to remind myself of that. Every time I see somebody looking at me, and then they'll look down at the button and they'll try to, once in a while people say, oh, what does that mean? Okay. It means exactly what it says. We keep looking for some other meaning in creating a world that works for all. We keep wanting to narrow what all means. And as I follow people saying that phrase over the internet over the last 40 years, it turns into creating a world that works for all of us. As soon as you put that qualifier on there, the entire concept goes away. Creating a world that works for all working class people, boom, gone. Creating a world that works for all women, or all elders. I mean, like as soon as you go past that period, you have basically relegated it into uselessness. And I keep saying to people, creating a world that works for all means creating a world that works for all living beings. And then we go into, oh, what about mosquitoes? What about cockroaches? What about the cockroaches that are in that capital over there that want to kill us? We have to defend ourselves from them. And as soon as we do that, the concept disappears. So my job here on Earth is to make sure the idea doesn't disappear, to make sure that we practice it in the most important place that we can find, which is in our hearts. And as soon as we do start doing that, we will start seeing where and how that we take that. As soon as we get over our fear that someone's going to think that we are naive, that we are not particularly smart enough to like this isn't a really smart idea. Somebody else has an idea that he's got spreadsheets behind it, so that must be really important. So as soon as we can do that, we will be in a position to start doing something and seeing something that all of our wisdom teachers saw. All of them saw this. All of them were pointing in this direction, and this is how we've ignored all of them. And we get to move in another direction.